I can pinpoint the time that I knew we were going to be friends forever.
Really?
Yeah. It was when I was dating.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, you and I didn't talk for a few months because he sort of like isolated me from you.
Yeah.
And then he left for the military. And even though you and I hadn't talked a month, you came and got me that night and took me on a drive.
Yeah, we just talked. Drives are the best.
We've gone on a lot of drives.
We've gone on a lot of drives.
Do you remember when we parked at that farm the summer before college and we thought you were leaving for college?
Oh, it was the worst time.
And we had this huge conversation about like, we might not be friends after you leave for college.
Yeah, I stole my dad's Cadillac that night and we were like sitting on the hood and yeah, I do remember that. That was wild. Do you remember saying, even if we're not friends, we'll try and find each other again, even if we drift apart?
Like telling our future kids about us kind of thing.
Yeah. Was it ever a question that we wouldn't be friends anymore, or like a question that we were going to go in separate directions?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
I think there have been a couple times in our friendship that I thought you would outgrow me and like go make other friends.
I feel like I thought that too. Especially you were always in honors classes and I was in like a bunch of school activities.
I didn't like any of those people.
I mean, still, they were, they felt superior. You know what I mean? Because it's like the type of children where they're just like constantly trained. College is your prime, you know? And I never expected to go to college. My parents never went to college. My dad just got his GED after he retired.
Yeah, I know. I'm really proud of him.
At like 62. I'm proud of him too. But I mean, if you didn't go to college, and this is just like my whole life outside of any friendships, if you didn't go to college, I wouldn't have been encouraged to go to college. And if I didn't, I don't think anybody else in my family would have. And now every person is in college. Yeah. And it's just like a big change, you know? And your dad has always been kind of like a different dad, like an uncle, you know?
Yeah.
Like.
Yeah, even when we wouldn't talk for a while, Dad would ask about you.
Yeah, same. Yeah.
That's funny that you saw it on some kind of like honor student level, because I saw it on like a social level. Like I always thought you were cooler than me.
Oh,
and that you were going to go find, like mostly too when we were 18, because you were down in college and I thought you were going to have like all these cool college friends. And we talked about like FaceTiming. Do you remember you had to take that stupid alcohol safety course before you started?
Yeah.
And we like practiced like FaceTiming each other.
Yeah.
While you were doing it.
So weird.
So yeah, there've been times. I think now, no, because I think at this point, even if we don't talk for a minute or you have like other friends, they're still going to come back here.
Oh, that's true. You're totally right. I didn't even think I was going to live this long, so I never thought I was going to outgrow you.
Dang, girl. Okay.
Every teenager thinks like 18's it. You're like, okay, I'm ready. Oh, sorry. Why am I important?
Oh, Lord. Why are you important? All right, so I think of this in two different ways. Like, why are you important to me and why are you important to the world?
Oh, okay.
So you're important to me because I feel so comfortable and so completely myself when we're hanging out and talking.
Yeah.
And going on drives. And I can just say anything that I'm feeling or going through. And you are like that comfort, you know? I think you're important to the world because I think you are very, very motivated and very inspirational to people to look up to you. And I also think you're just this really like bright and friendly spot. What's a pain in me you wish you could heal?
Oh, your mom. Your mom made such a scar. And it's just like, everybody's a canvas and you like paint on the canvas. And I feel like you and I have painted a lot of each other's canvases together. And I feel like she's just slashed black across it, you know, but we're still adding to it. You're still adding to it. And you've got a lot of other people adding to it. But I just wish that we could cover it. You know, just one of those things. Nothing's going to cover black. It is what it is, but we can work around it.
That was really cute.
Thank you.
That.
Thank you. All right. Oh, what do you think I'm hesitant to tell you?
I think you're probably hesitant to tell me if you disagree with me about something, like something I've done, because you don't want to make me mad. I hope, and I think that it's gotten a lot better as we've gotten older.
Oh, yeah.
But I feel like you used to get upset or worried about upsetting me or about offending me.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
So like when you were going and meeting those people, like some parts of it you didn't tell me until later because you were worried.
You'd be
And
so
I hate thinking that you were worried about me judging you, but I think it was just part of growing up.
Yeah, it was more like the disappointment.
Yeah.
Yeah. And some things were hard to communicate, you know, even now, shit, I have to think twice about, we can cuss.
We were laughing, yeah.
I had to think twice about what I say or how I say it, more or less, you know?
You worry a lot about how you say things.
Well, I never want to be the angry black lady, which I've talked to you years about that.
I know sometimes you'll send me a text and you're like, does this sound mean?
Yeah.
And I have to like proofread it.
Yeah, that's hard. I'm going to always struggle with that. Thanks for helping me with that, by the way.
Boo.
Jeez, glad you went psychology courses.
What was the biggest challenge together and how did we overcome it?
High school, for sure. So? It's because there were so many ups and downs. That's such a generic answer. But seriously, if you think about the first year that we were there, in and out of drama club, and we were like having the time of our lives, but still like voices were changing. People were, for some reason, super sexual. And like, that was weird, morphing into adults, basically. Like our last year, we were just ready to go out, meet boys, drink, have fun. And I didn't even think twice about that during freshman year. We were such heavy Christians. Do you remember? And then by the end, like senior year, we were like, no, no, thank you.
Yeah. I think one of the most challenging times in our friendship was your relationship with personally, and not to make it super serious, but it was so hard to see you do something that I completely disagreed with and like worried about you all the time, but knew that I couldn't push too hard about telling you not to do it. Or I'd like
gone.
I'd lose you completely.
Which that's such a scary part of life, even with our other friends. Like, and I know that you've seen it and we've talked about a lot of things like that, but it's such a gray area to be in. You don't know which way you're going to lean with them or which way they're going to lean. Like, you don't want to push your sister not to get married because you don't want her to leave, you know, things like that. Yeah. And I already said you're the most comfortable conversation with anybody in my life. And it's been like that for 20 years. So I just would hate for something to happen. And gosh, I can't even imagine something that'd be serious enough to actually end our friendship.
Right.
Doubt anything like that is going to happen.
Point.
Yeah. Just, if this were to be our last conversation, what's one thing you never want me to forget?
Fuck.
I know. There's a lot of things.
So I really don't like this question because the first thing I'm thinking of is.
Oh, yeah.
And
of course.
I have no idea what my last conversation with him was. And I would never want to wake up in the middle of the night to a phone call that you were gone, like with him.
Yeah. And then have to think really hard about like, what did I say? What did I do? Is it my fault?
Yeah. Because like, I think the last thing he messaged me was like, can you hang out? And I like didn't answer.
I couldn't.
Of course, I mean, it was like weeks before he did anything, but still. Yeah. So I really don't, I don't like that question. What is something I wouldn't want you to forget if this is the last time we talked? That I love you. That you have a wild spirit and you shouldn't ever have to tame it down for people who can't handle it or for fear of fitting an angry Black woman stereotype.
Well, thank you. And I'm going to answer this too.
Go ahead.
If this was our last conversation, I think I would need you to know that you're way more unique than you think. And I think the same thing, like I don't ever want you to fit into any box because I think we're pretty different than a lot of people as far as not only our opinions, but our ability to listen to other opinions, especially in the world today. Nobody wants to listen. They're just hearing your words to retaliate. And like, you hear them, you process them, and you just converse. It's not necessarily a fight. And that's not easy, I guess. And you've taught me how to do that, so thank you.
How do you love me?
Oh, geez. So I think we just had a conversation about this, how there are romantic relationships and then there are like relationships that you'd have like with your partner, you know, and they're not necessarily the same thing. So I would say that our relationship is more like I would say it's even deeper than sisters, you know, because you and your sister still fight sometimes and you're friends, but you're not like this close. You know what I mean? I love you like one of those entities that's been fucking dancing around me for multiple lifetimes by now. How do you love me? No pressure.
Yeah, you said that. I think there are friendships that can be like soulmates.
Mm-hmm.
I would say that you were my soulmate probably before I would say I was my soulmate.
Mm-hmm.
Because it just feels more like home, feels more comfortable, feels more like I don't have to explain anything I'm thinking because you just already know.
Yeah, just a look.
But as far as how I love you, I think I love you by letting you be yourself and not trying to change you.
Oh, I love you so much.
I love you too.
Hey, if you were watching that video and you want to play the And with your friends, try the And Friend Edition and get it at theskindeep.com/shop.